guys, thinking about Notre Dame, we hit on this just real briefly. We looked at Notre Dame, Syracuse. I thought Notre Dame looked a whole lot better. That did not look like the Notre Dame team we've seen looking pathetically. What do we think about that for USC coming up?
I think that's going to be a great game. They're what, 5-3 now?
Yeah, something like that.
We're going to see what happens when they play Clemson next week. And Clemson has a bye week, but they've shown they've been vulnerable at certain points this year, just like the ACC. What's up with the ACC? I think Wake Forest lost to Louisville. I'm sorry, Louisville. They lost to Louisville. They lost to Louisville? Okay, so that's great because they were tied in the AP with USC at number 10, I believe. So Wake Forest lost. Miami, WTH with Miami. You score 14 points in 4 overtimes, and you win by what, 2 points on Virginia? Oh my God!
I guess you know.
You signed 2 recruits this week. You're shelling out a lot of money for mediocrity in Miami, Mario. Say that 3 times quick. I mean, God, ridiculous.
And a friend of the show, Chris, points out Pac-12 might have teams ranked 4 in a row, 8 through 11 tomorrow. That's very possible.
Chris, friend of the show, knows his stuff. So when Chris makes a comment like that, I would say he's 95% accurate.
He probably is. And Jimbo points out, Drew Pine, one of LBC's personal favorites, was only 9 for 19 for 116 yards in another one of the pretty stellar showing. Wait, hold on. Friend of the show, Austin Williams. Bravo Cards. Austin is a devout Louisville fan, and they looked good today. So congratulations on that. Congrats, Austin.
You could be going bowling.
You're going bowling. It's going to be kind of fun. But what do you guys think? Again, we want to hear what you guys think. So give us a call. Call in and fill us in with your thoughts here as we go. Larry had to run. Cheese is saying he thinks Utah will beat USC in the finals. We'll see. Utah's got quite a game up in Eugene, and I'll tell you guys, they're rolling. They're rolling at Oregon.
Hey Tony, I'm going to give you my glass half full kind of analysis. I'm sorry if I came in here negative, but the thing about it is I love our USC team, and when I don't see us reaching expectations that I think that are possible, it frustrates me. And maybe there's some Trojans out there in the chat that feel the same way, but so maybe I've got a little spoiled, if you will. But when we underperform, it's frustrating. But the one thing I really love tonight is you got to see the depth of our wide receiver room. So no Jordan Addison, no Mario Williams. Tim pointed out earlier, it's great to see Kyle Ford get, I think, 5 catches for over 100 yards. He's had ACL issues. He's stuck with the program. He could have transferred. He didn't. Taj Washington, all 5'8" or 9 of them, whatever. That guy is just a baller. Great job for Taj. You had Michael Jackson, the third, out there, and he had a catch, I think, in the third quarter. That was basically, it was thriller. It was a thriller because he had just a great run. It was like a reverse play or a pitch play to him, and he found open space, and that was a creative play call. I like that play call. And, you also have the redshirt freshman out of Mater Dei, Ware Hudson, had a couple key catches as well. So, when you have your top 2 receivers out, USC showed their wide receiver depth tonight. It was pretty cool.
And I'll tell you something else. There was a big crowd tonight there in Arizona. That's something that they've struggled a little bit with. And, I thought that was good for the conference to see. Even Cal had a decent-sized crowd today. I'm trying to see. I haven't been able to catch many shots of what's up in Pasadena. But I think we're starting to see Pac-12 crowds look like they're supposed to. Which is certainly a little bit better. But, guys, what do you think? Again, give us a buzz. I know a lot of you are right now sitting there watching the UCLA game. UCLA is up 24-3 on Stanford, so that's pretty boring. So you can just give us a call right now and tell us what you think of the game. Let me. It was homecoming for Arizona. Yep, they looked like they had a good homecoming crowd. That didn't help UCLA when they had their homecoming, but yeah, guys, just click on that link and it'll connect you and tell us what you think. Looking at what else we got here in the chat. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, the referees were not helpful. Who's our backup field goal kicker? Would love some depth there. I'm not actually sure, Gixer. I think Tim knows. Do you know LBC real quick who our backup field goal kicker is? Will Rose, their backup punter.
I'm not
sure.
I thought that Dennis Lynch beat out Stouthouse. Wasn't Stouthouse kicking our field goals last year as well as doing the kicking duties? That's what I could have sworn was doing our kicking, because it was Stouthouse who beat out the young guy that left to transfer to
Ohio State.
Yes, and his name is escaping me right now.
I should know. He's in my fraternity.
Oh, okay.
I forget his name. Sorry, bro. Don't tell anybody.
But that's who was kicking the field goal last year, was Stouthouse, and somehow Dennis Lynch unseated him. But hey, it happens. Really, we shouldn't be concerned about field goals. It's touchdowns of the defense. Hey, let me ask you a question, Tony, and I'm going to ask the chat because I didn't see the game. Perhaps some of you in the chat saw the game. Perhaps you saw it, Tony. But what happened to Oklahoma State? They lost 48-0 to Kansas State, and
they look terrible.
That is surprising.
They got exposed. So you guys have heard me call them Make-A-Wish kids all year long, and the Big 12 fans in the chat. I mean, friend of the show, Wet Blanket. I finally gave up. I finally thought maybe they were Make-A-Wish kids. We love friend of the show, Wet Blanket, by the way, who is an awesome guy and devout Oklahoma State fan. And I finally get the thing about Oklahoma State and TCU is I finally bought into the hype last week, and I said, okay, they keep winning. They keep winning. Are they not Make-A-Wish kids? And then today we saw TCU just look terrible against West Virginia. They should have lost. I mean, they squeaked out the win, but they should have lost. And we saw Oklahoma State just get boat raced. And I mean, this is a Kansas State team who lost to a pretty mediocre, what I think is a pretty mediocre TCU team, and a Kansas State team who lost to Tulane. So, I mean, Tulane's decent this year, but I mean, they're not like beat the Big 12's #1 team good, and they have.
Don't be dissing Tulane. They were an SEC member back in 1933. So don't diss Tulane. Come on now.
Not only am I not dissing Tulane, but I'm bringing in the receipts for all of the douchebags who made fun of me when I said Tulane is a great expansion candidate for the Big 12, the SEC, or even the Pac-12, or the Big 12, the ACC, or even the Pac-12, because they have all the ingredients and they would actually be a great expansion candidate. So I was right.
That's surprising though, that Oklahoma State, because they're a great program, to lose 48-0 just came out of nowhere, right? Because they were ranked number 9, and granted, Kansas State I think ranked 22nd, and they were 5-2, and to lose by that margin, my God, that was.
So Josh Pate went to that game for some reason, and I thought that was a dumb game to go to because there were so many more interesting games this weekend that Josh Pate could have gone to. I think he was just kissing up to his Big 12 fan base friends. But I'll be fascinated to see what he has to say about that, because it was just throttling.
And here's the thing too: it's always challenging to win on the road, especially in conference. Ohio State was in that game with Penn State much longer than I thought they would be, despite Sean Clifford doing Sean Clifford things and turning the ball over. But that game wasn't decided until the fourth quarter with Ohio State and Penn State. So, yes, I'm not, by all means, people in the chat, I am not comparing Arizona to Penn State. Absolutely not. But, yeah, hey, if I'm looking at the glass full, yes, we came out with a victory. What was it? 8 points. A win's a win. We move on. So Would we have liked to cover the spread or won by a larger margin? Yes, it didn't happen, but it's a win.